Awesome. Solar Icons, welcome to our fireside chat. We are excited for today's conversation with the one and only Mr. Kevin Moeller. He is going to be taking a deep dive on everything labels. And I believe the last thing he's going to talk about, which has me really excited on a personal note, is what you can do with the labels, specifically for follow-up, but also for email broadcast notifications, which is really cool. Kevin Moeller, how are you, sir?
I'm blessed, Aaron. How you doing?
I'm doing well, blessed as well. Hopefully you had a great Father's Day, my friend.
Absolutely. We had an amazing time. Went to a place that's a farm to table restaurant. I took my dad and stepdad there and obviously had my son with me. So it was a great time for sure. And excited to be with you guys today.
I love it. I love it, man. Well, take it away, man. Jump into everything labels.
Well, awesome. Great to be with Solar Icons team. Today, we are going to be talking about labels feature, and this is something that you can use that's going to help you today, and it's going to help you long-term as you focus on building into the future and growing your business and knowing that you're going to have more contacts next week, next month, next quarter, next year than you are now. And so being ahead of that curve, there's some things that you want to do proactively to help you be more organized to increase your prospecting efforts down the road. So you can be more efficient, you can get more done in less time. That's what this tactic is going to do. And it also is very important for the email broadcast system that we're going to talk about in a moment, which is not to be confused with the campaigns. So real quick, just so we get it clear, what is the difference between an email campaign and an email broadcast? An email campaign is a pre-drawn up, already typed out email with calls to action that your prospects, when they opt into an email campaign, they can receive regular emails from you with links to view material about solar, about power, about surveys, about videos. And when there's a call to action, anytime that they're interacting, then you can see what your prospects are doing. So it's a great way for you to see who's a hot prospect and when. That's awesome. But the email broadcast is you literally typing up an email yourself and either scheduling it to be sent or clicking to send it right then and there. So it's actually you typing up an email, not a drip campaign. It's if you have a promotion or a new battery or a new solar deal or a new product, or you're running for something, or you're doing a gift card for referrals. I mean, I don't know. You can get creative. You can sit there and type up an email, hit send, or schedule it to go out at a later date. And that can go to all of your contacts who have ever opted into an email campaign, or it can go to people who have ever opted into an email campaign that have a particular label. So if you think about a label, think about a tag. If you've ever used any type of CRM service before, maybe you're familiar with tags. We use the term labels in the Energize app, but it's basically the same thing. It's basically you just saying, hey, this contact has this little sticker on it to help me identify who that is. Maybe it's real estate agents, maybe it's contractors, maybe it's people you met at a homeowners expo, maybe it's homeowners, maybe it's, I don't know, referral partners, you name it, you can create whatever label you want. And so that's what the training is going to be about today. So if you give me just a moment, I will share my screen. We got just a couple of slides that we'll go over, and then we will look into the application. We'll see how to use it, right? So if you have not already downloaded this tech, it's a tech stack. There's a lot of pieces of technology all into one incredible platform that you can use on mobile or on desktop. And you can get it by going to solariconsteam.com. You see the link at the bottom, solariconsteam.com. That's also where you can go to log in to the desktop version of the application, by the way, and we'll show you that towards the end of the training on this segment today. And so the difficulties that we have when we're prospecting is, some of the ones that we have are email marketing is expensive and it's misunderstood. And the reason why it's misunderstood is particular to our industry, being person-to-person sharing information authentically. That's where you see AST on the screen. That stands for authentic sharing technology. That's what we need. We don't need a system that blasts our prospects from a power, email address, info@power.com or something. We need something that comes from us, right? You are the solar expert in your community. That's what you want to brand yourself as the person for solar, where people refer to you, people ask you questions, people come to you for services, people send their people to you when they're interested in solar. That's what you want to be in your community, if you ask me, right? Well, if you want people coming to you for solar and not a solar company, then you want your email system to be emails coming from you and not from the solar companies. That makes sense. You want to be authentic in what you're doing because you are the expert. You're the one that's communicating with your prospects and their referrals. And so it's tedious and time consuming to sort contacts into customized content mailing lists. If you've ever tried to do that, then you've gone through what most of us would consider technology hell, which is a spreadsheet. It's an Excel file. It's trying to move things around. I mean, some of you guys are probably wizards at Excel. That's definitely not me. Okay. It's not my strong suit. 1,000 times I've thought about going through some type of course to learn how to do better with spreadsheets, but I just defer to other people who are spreadsheet wizards. I just don't have time to mess with those, and it's tedious, it's time consuming. This application makes it simple. Again, I'm talking about the solution. I'll get there in a minute, but it's hard not to talk about the solution because that's what we're sharing today, right? It doesn't have to be tedious and time consuming to sort contacts into different content mailing lists, but it's very important because you may have a just wants to go to real estate agents, but you don't want contractors to get that message because it may not resonate with them. You may have a message that just goes to contractors, but you don't want homeowners to get that because they're not home builders, right? They're homeowners, not home builders. So that's the reason why we need to be able to segregate these and separate these contacts into certain buckets, certain lists, and it makes it simple to do that. Traditional CRMs, which is contact relationship management, or relation management, they're bloated with features that make them hard to use. Like I literally have a CRM for one of the companies that I own, and I love it. It's amazing on what it can do. It's a powerful, powerful tool. But they literally have a second website just for training on how to use it. And I promise you, I bet there is probably 150 hours worth of video to teach you the full power of it. Now that's necessary because it's very complex and it works great for my other company that needs this crazy stuff. We don't need that for prospecting in what we do here with power, right? We don't need that type of stuff. So a lot of those things they're bloated with features that make them hard to use. And by the way, if you want duplication, right? If you intend to build an organization here, then you don't want features, even if you don't use them, you don't even want them to exist if they're not pertinent to your business because it's confusing. People get in there, they get lost. It's too complex. You don't want that. You want to simplify it. And that's what this allows you to do. And then also email delivery platforms are extremely expensive and they're hard to use. So if you get one platform working great, well, then you got to create one, for your survey. So maybe use SurveyMonkey, and then you're signing up for Zapier or one of the technologies that connect everything so that you can get feedback. And it's crazy what you can go through to try to build something that Energize has already created. It's already here. The solution is this application and this technology stack on a simple to use platform. It's built for you. It's all about solar. That's all that's in there. And as a professional networker, you also own your list here, which is awesome. So when you build your database, it's not going to Power. It's not going to Aaron. It's not going to me. It's your database. It's your contacts. You own it. You own the list. By the way, I've also seen other softwares that make it almost impossible to get your contacts out of them. This platform, not so. You own your contacts. You can take them anytime that you want to. So when you use labels, you can help sort your contacts as they grow, write in the contact details. We're going to show you that in a second. You can use any type of category that you think of, homeowner, contractor. We already talked about that. You can be as creative as you want to. Maybe you are a veteran and you know a lot of veterans and you want to make a tag for veterans. You can use whatever tag whatever label you want to label your contacts. And it makes filtering those contacts incredibly simple. So let's say that you wanted to call every contractor in your database. Then you could go to your contacts and then go to filter, choose the label contractor, and then there'll be a list and you could just call them. Boom, 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 boom. Just go down the list and contact all your contractors without even seeing all the other contacts. You can just sort to just that one label so you can be efficient in what you're trying to do, which is awesome. And when you unlock the broadcast email feature, when you have at least 10 email opt-ins, then you can send an email broadcast to anybody. Again, anybody who's ever opted into an email campaign, you can send them an email, but you can also send it to just people who have opted into a campaign that have a particular label. So you can customize your message, tailor it to that particular audience before you hit the send button and send that email out. So let's take a quick spin and look at this real quick on the application. Give me 1 second and I will share the screen on my mobile device. Let's see here. Share screen. All right, here we go. So here is the Energize app. Okay, this is what you see when you log in. And again, we're talking about the labels feature here. So there are a couple of things I want to show you real quick. One thing you may not even be aware of is you have the ability to actually assign a label the minute that you add a contact. Let me show you what I'm talking about here. So let's say that I meet somebody. Let me click the plus contact button down here at the bottom. And you see it says first name, last name, phone number, email, and notes, right? That's great. I'm going to put in here Bob Smith, okay? And we're going to put just the number. Now, look at this. Have you ever noticed this little drop-down button? You may have never even seen that. If you click that, it gives you the ability to go ahead and give them a star rating, which we've covered before, which is your own personal rating on the quality of that prospect. You can choose the significant date, like if you know their anniversary or their birthday and want to remind yourself about that. But right here, it says add a label. You can just click right here in this little bar, and it'll pop up all the different labels that you've ever created in your application. Now, you click the add new button and you can add whatever label you want. For this, for this particular example, what am I going to do? I'm going to do sold. So this would be a prospect that I obviously sold solar to. So I'm going to click apply, and then I'm going to hit continue. And that's how you add a label to a contact. Okay. Well, what if you already have a contact in the application? How do you go back and add a label there? Well, if we go to John Doe here, you see that says labels none. We're going to click the edit button on the right-hand side. And when we do that, it's going to give us all of our different labels. Again, you can customize these. And on the desktop, you can even delete ones that you don't like. Okay. So if there are any in here that you see that you've added, and at some point you decide you're not going to use that label anymore, you can delete that label and change it. So I'm going to go to sold again, check that box. By the way, you can assign more than one label. Very important. So let's say this is somebody that I sold, but also is a, there it is, potential recruit. So this is somebody I sold solar to that I also want to add to my power team, hopefully, right? They're a potential recruit in this example. We're going to hit apply, and that's going to add both of those labels to this contact. Okay. So if we go back to our contacts over here, again, if we're trying to tailor down our prospecting or our outbound phone calls or our outbound messages to something that's on our mind that goes to a particular label, maybe it's just people we've sold solar to before in the past, then what do? We go to the little filter button. You see the little filter? We're going to click on that. It says filter by label. We're going to click on that, and then we're going to choose whichever filters we want. Now, this example, I'm going to check the sold one, because let's just say that I want to reach out to everybody I've ever sold solar to, see how they're enjoying their system, see if they've got any referrals for me, and then let them know, by the way, you can get paid for that. If you're going to make referrals, why don't you consider this as a secondary source of income for you, right? So let's just say that's what I'm going to focus my attention on today. That might be why I want to go to everybody I've sold solar to. Then I'm going to click the filter button, and it's going to show me everybody that has the sold filter, or the sold label. Okay. Now up at the top, you see the filter is blinking. You see that? It's kind of pulsating. It's letting me know that that's the only reason you see 9 contacts is because there's a filter on. So if we click on that, we can check clear filter, and look, there's all of my 65 contacts in this demo account. So that's how you use the actual filter feature. Again, you can go straight to any of your contacts and click on them, right? So we'll go to Paul. Paul doesn't have a label. We click edit, and then, he's a enterprise prospect. So we check that, hit apply, and that label is automatically there. Again, last time, I'll show you this. If you meet somebody, you click the plus person icon, and you're going to save their information. Be sure to hit the drop-down button and click here, and you can add a label right there while you're adding them as a contact. So that's the 2 different ways to add the label. And then again, this is going to be powerful when you go to email people through the broadcast feature. Well, how do you get to the broadcast feature? How do you actually use it? How does it work? We're going to cover that right now. So give me a second to change over to my desktop. I'm going to share the screen there. So if you go to solariconsteam.com, solariconsteam.com, then this is the screen that you're going to see. This is where you go, by the way, to download this. So if you haven't downloaded this technology yet, this is where you'll go. You'll click the Get Started button here. But look where it says already have an account. We're going to click there, and it's going to take us to the login page for our application here. So I'm going to put in my demo account, login. All right. Give me 1 second. So when you log in here, this is where your back office is, if you want to call it that. This is just your desktop version, your web application, whatever you want to refer to it as. But down here, there's two things I want to point out to you. One, if you click on labels, this is where you can manage your labels. So if you click on labels, this will be where you see your different labels that you have, okay, that you can actually customize. But this button here, you see down here at the bottom left, it says broadcast. We're going to click on broadcast. And this is going to take you to the page that you need to be able to send an email broadcast. Now, there's another training. I'm going to show you where it's at in just a second when I switch back to mobile. But we train on the email campaigns. Remember, I told you earlier, that's a drip campaign that sends to your prospects automatically. You need at least 10 people opted into a campaign in order to unlock the email broadcast feature. And remember, the broadcast feature is not going to email all of your prospects. It's only going to email the ones who have ever opted in to an email campaign. One of the easiest things that you can do when you meet somebody is add them to the opt-in only campaign. Now, we've already trained on that in the email campaigns. If you haven't gone through that, I highly encourage you, especially after today's training, to take 15, 20 minutes and go through the training on email campaigns that's in the coaching section of your application, because it's going to get you up to speed on some of the stuff that you may not be aware of. If you're on that training, then you already know about email campaigns. You need somebody to opt in. You don't have to trigger the drip emails if you don't want to. You can simply just get them to opt in, and then they're considered an opt-in contact because there's a campaign called opt-in only. What that means is it literally sends your prospect an email and says, hey, Aaron, click this link to make sure I've got the right email address from you, and I'll stay in touch. And if they click that link, then it doesn't send them any drip emails if you don't want them to. All it does is opt them in. When they do that, now you're able to actually send and use the email broadcast. Now, on this page, if you have more than 10 people opted in, then you're going to see the email system. Now, it's very simple, and even though you can't see it right this second, at the top, it has a toggle switch that goes from send it immediately, which means when you it's going to go out to your contacts, or you can toggle that over to schedule, and you can tell it the day and the time. You know, maybe it's Friday night, you come home, you got a great idea, but you don't want the email to go out until Monday. Cool. Type it up Friday night, schedule it to go out Monday morning at 8 a.m., and it'll go out automatically from you. So you've got an area to schedule the email if you want to. It also has the ability to send it to your contacts who have a particular label. So you'll choose if you want a particular label, or if you just want to send it to everybody, because it may be something that applies to every prospect in your account that's ever opted in. Great. If it needs to go to a particular label, you just choose the label you want to. You put the subject of the email, you put the body of the email, just like you would if you were sending me an email right now. Then at the bottom, you put your email address and hit either schedule or send. It's as simple as that. I'd show it to you, but it's literally, you don't need any training on it. You just need to know that if you have at least 10 people opted in, that's what you'll see on this page right here. And you can use the email broadcast feature. So it's super powerful. Let me switch back over to mobile, and I will share with you where that training is at. So if you're on today and you said, hey, I desperately need to see that training on campaigns, I missed that. Well, let me show you where it's at, and then we will wrap up today's training on the Energize app. Okay, so when you get here, you're going to go to the coaching section at the bottom of your application, and then you're going to go to the Energize Now training workshops. Okay, so if you click there, here is the training that you want to go through, the pre-written campaigns. This is going to teach you everything that you need to know about opt-ins, about what campaigns are, about how to use them, about how to see the emails that go out automatically on your behalf. It's super powerful. So that's part of your homework. If you weren't on there live to see that training, part of your homework is to go through the pre-written campaigns training in your mobile application, and you will be so glad that you did. So with that being said, let me switch back over one last time. I know I keep going back and forth. Give me just a second to toggle the right screen, and we will wrap this up. All right, share screen, desktop, yes. Okay, so that's the demonstration of the labels. And here's your challenge. Your challenge is to check how many people you have opted into an email campaign. It's simple to do. You can go to either campaigns right on the home screen of your Energize application. Just click on where it says campaigns, click on it. It'll show you how many people you have in each campaign, add all those people together. If it's less than 10, then identify which contacts you'll reach out to get them opted in to unlock the broadcast feature. And I'll remind you of how I get people opted in. I say, hey, Sue, listen, I've enjoyed our conversation. Would it be okay if we stay in touch via email if I find something I think you'd be interested in from time to time? She's going to say, sure. That's when I'm either going to assign her a campaign or assign her the opt-in only campaign. It doesn't matter. It depends on whatever I want to do. Okay. I'm going to do it right then and there while I'm talking to Sue. I'm going to say, great. Hey, listen, I just sent you an email. Do me a favor. Open it up right now. Okay, I got it open. Great. You see the link there that confirms your email address? Go ahead and click that link real quick. And I walk them through. When they click that link, they're opted in. As long as you have at least 10 opted in, then you can send the broadcast feature. So that's your homework. Okay. If you haven't got 10, get 10. Identify who you're going to reach out to and get them opted in. And then lastly, if you have more than 10, we'll go ahead and use the broadcast email feature. Type open an email. If you need some help crafting it, then type in your ideas into ChatGPT and let it kick out some great content for you to help you kind of flesh out your idea of what you're trying to do. Aaron's a master at that. And then send out an email broadcast. And when you do that, you're going to see how powerful it is. And I promise you, literally by taking this serious and getting people opted in, you are setting yourself up for so much success down the road. How many contacts are you going to have opted in 6 months if you focus on doing this for the next 6 months? That's going to be a big database that you can communicate with the broadcast tool. And I promise you, you're going to make a lot of money later down whenever you start using this and get serious about it today. So with that being said, that's what we've got for you today. What we're going to talk about next week is who the heck do I call next? How do I use technology and the statistics to show me the hot list, the activity log, so I can maximize my time? If I'm doing this part-time or full-time, it doesn't matter. We all want to maximize the time that we put in, right? Think about that. Like we want to get the maximum output that we possibly can from whatever amount of time that we're given our power business. I'm going to help you to maximize that at the next level for you and your team next week. And we're looking forward to seeing you on the training next week. So with that being said, Aaron, appreciate you, sir. I will turn it back over to you.